Crazy. And you've never had, like, anything like that? Like, seen anything, right?
No, never. I'm glad I was old enough to experience it.
Yeah.
And remember it.
Wow. That's so scary. I don't know. I hope one day, like, we'll actually get to a point where, like, we know, like, more, like, oh, okay, this is what they want with us. This is why they're, like, curious about us. Like, they're checking in, whatever it is. It'll be really interesting. And what they look like, because I think that's the part that creeps me out the most, is how people describe them.
Right.
Or how people, like, with the cone head and, like, not, like, human-like, and just, yeah, it's very, very...
I don't know. I hear a lot of things. Like, I hear some people say they're green. I hear a lot of people say that they're, like, very pale, kind of like porcelain almost, like porcelain pale. And so I'd be curious to know, like, what they look like as well. This kind of reminds me, I was just watching a documentary the other night about, like, the Men in Black. Have you ever heard of that?
Well, the movie.
That's it. Will Smith, yes.
Well, that's based on a true story, apparently.
What? I never knew that.
Documentary?
Yeah.
So it's
Tell us.
it's online. I think it's by BuzzFeed or something. And I was just watching it, and they were talking they were surprised that Men in Black was actually based on a true story. I haven't done any research except for just listen to this video, but it talks about, like, these people. Multiple people have said that they saw these Men in Black, and they're very pale, and they're very they have no eyebrows or anything like that. They're just very blank, and also very red lips. They said very red lips, and they're wearing the hats and the suits and stuff. And they say that, like, these two men will just come and they just do weird things. I think they caught them on camera one time going through, like, a bank or something like that. And I don't know. They say that that's what it looked like and everything. But they say that these two men are, like, real. That they'll come and they'll kind of, like, erase your memory and stuff like that.
So interesting. I definitely have to check it out.
That's so freaky. Like, legit, with, like, now I'm just picturing, like, Will Smith with the thing that, like, yeah. Goodbye. You'll never know again. I mean, at the same time, I think anything's possible. So I wouldn't be surprised if there legitimately is, like, people out there that come in contact with things that we're really not supposed to come in contact with. And here they come, the Men in Black. It's creepy.
Andrea, why don't me and you just go to what is it called in, like, Nevada or something like that? Where all of the UFOs are.
Area 51?
Yeah.
Marissa, let's go to Area 51. Oh my God.
If we don't get shot first trying to get in there. It's heavily secure. But I would love that if it was possible.
Let's just
This
ditch.
might be a future episode where we all go to jail.
Right, yeah. So streaming live from jail.
Right in our prison cell. Yep.
Yeah, it's probably a
Listen,
good
if
one.
we see things that we're not supposed to see, it'll be worth it.
Yeah.
All right? We'll explain it to our families later. It'll be okay.
Just make sure they have bail money.
They'll understand later. And when we actually prove that they are real, we'll just be millionaires.
Yeah. We'll be on the right side.
We just better get rich off of it. I mean, then I'll be laughing and stuff.
That's what Area 51's supposed to be, right? It's supposed to be just a bunch of, like, UFOs and
That's
all
the
that
theory.
kind of stuff.
That they just have top secret stuff like that.
Just nobody knows. Basically.
Yeah.
So that's where everyone's mind goes to, I guess. Well, Bob Lazar, right? He's the guy that went on Joe Rogan and then did the whole documentary on Netflix about him working at Area 51. And that's where he, like, saw an alien, and he worked on UFOs and things like that. So, yeah. Now I just remembered that. Yeah. Yeah, he's got a whole documentary for everybody. I'm sure you guys know too, on Netflix. I'm pretty sure it's still on there. It's just an interview with him where he's at now and, like, all the shit that he went through because he was working with them, and then, like, things happened between him and his wife at the time. I think she was like unfaithful to him, and when they found that out, they didn't want to like take chances of him going like crazy or like losing it because of the things that he was handling, that they basically try to like erase him and like him ever being there, blah blah blah. And yeah, but like he definitely worked on things that like we didn't know about. I think now some of the things that he talked about, like now it's being discovered, like, oh yeah, like he's not lying, like it's legit, like here it is. But yeah, that was really, really interesting. Him on Joe Rogan and the documentary, like definitely worthwhile watching. So yeah, that'll be our episode in the future. Area 51, if we make it alive, guys.
Live from Area 51.
Imagine if we like go through all of this and like there's nothing there. It's just like, oh, they just like they just want everyone to be crazy about this.
I mean, even if there was or there isn't, like there's a lot of people that have like the experience, so it's kind of like we know it's out there. Whether it's in there or not, who knows? But
yeah, Andrea just asked if I ever like met anybody who said she like that they were abducted or something like that. I actually did meet somebody before who said that they were abducted by aliens. Yeah.
That story. That's another episode. Yes.
She's waiting for the confirmation of her previous. She's like, tell me it was an alien. No, so I just ended up meeting this person a few years ago in my hometown, and I was introduced to the lady, and they were like, oh, so you were abducted by aliens, right? And she just looked at me and my boyfriend at the time, and she was just like, no, we're not going to talk about this. No, we're not going to talk about this. And then like she would not talk about it, and I was like, oh my gosh. So that was my only kind of time like she was adamant on the fact that she definitely was abducted by aliens. So
yeah, it has to be like extremely traumatizing. Like in the documentary, right?
In the documentary, most of the people were like left paralyzed just from the fear and the and some of them like they do look hesitant to talk about it because it's a weird experience that maybe you don't want to bring up again. But
yeah, because everyone else will look at you completely like an alien yourself for saying that you came in contact with these beings that like no one can even imagine. You kind of become like a black sheep, I guess, in a sense, which is sad, but yeah, I mean, it has to be really, really traumatizing to go through something like that at any age. It's very interesting. I feel bad now that the lady was so like, no, we're not talking about it kind of thing.
I don't know. I automatically just assumed drugs. I did.
This is honest, people. You can't ever say we lie.
I don't know. I think the scariest thing for me is just like I hear stories about people just going to bed, and then like it happens when they're sleeping. It always happens like when they're sleeping and stuff like that, and they get just picked up, and it's like, what do? Like you can't do anything. You're sleeping. You're innocently sleeping. Vulnerable, unable to fly. Well, you are flying. Unable to not fly.
Forcefully flying. Wow.
So
yeah, when I get like really, really freaked out at night, that's what keeps me up at night. So, like if I go to sleep and I wake up on a fucking ship and like what the fuck do I do? And then no one's gonna fucking believe me. And I guess mainly like, what are they gonna do to me?
Right.
What do they do to you?
I always hear that they like kind of like cut you up to see like what's inside, like what this animal monkey is like all about and stuff. So, I mean, not to scare you or anything.
I'm not going to sleep tonight, guys. This is a great podcast.
Well, you know what? You made me not sleep like 2 weeks when I started the podcast.
That's very true.
Does Marissa know about that?
No, she didn't.
No, I didn't know. It's affecting you that way.
Andrea, I did not sleep for like 2 weeks when we started this podcast.
Oh, no, it's because we were like really trying to like research and like look at stories and documentaries and stuff. I guess Brittany would just spend way too much time looking at it and like overthinking it.
That is so not what happened. I brought up my story and Andrea goes, oh, you know what that is? It's sleep paralysis. And I was like, Why did she visit me? Is she gonna visit me again? Did I just wake it up again? Like,
She
oh.
knows that story. About,
That
like,
you've had
experiencing-
one?
Yeah.
I definitely have had one too. So.
Oh, have
Yeah.
you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wait, did you see the hag?